Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I wanted to share this article with you because I had some thoughts about it. It was an article talking about the Federal Reserve and how they have expanded their mortgage-backed security portion of their balance sheet to $2.2 trillion. And this is crazy to think because, it was less than 15 years ago, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, the entire balance sheet, was $850 billion. So to think that just the mortgage-backed security portions at 2.2 trillion, it's just crazy. But one of the things I got to thinking about is just okay, wait a minute. We have just had a slowdown in refinancing as the interest rates have ticked up here over the last few months. And February's numbers came out saying that there was a drop in home sales, and that was due to the lack of inventory out there. So this is what really got me thinking. I was like, well, wait a minute. If there was a drop in home sales and there was a slowdown in refinancing, that means there's probably less mortgage-backed securities out there on the market. The Federal Reserve is set at $40 billion a month. They are going to buy $40 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities every single month regardless. So this leads me to believe it was wait a minute here. The Fed may be stuck in a position where, because right now, they have a third of all mortgage-backed securities. But if they continue on with $40 billion worth of purchases every month and they have a slowdown in refinancing, meaning that the old mortgage-backed securities that they hold are not getting extinguished as quickly and being recreated, because that's what essentially it would happen if a bunch of people refinance, is that it would extinguish the old mortgage-backed security and create a new one as they did the new refinance. And there's a slowdown in the amount of homes being sold due to the lack of inventory, then yeah, the Federal Reserve is going to end up buying even more into the mortgage market. Instead of owning a third, they may end up with the whole half of it if they continue on with the $40 billion a month. But now there is no guarantee that they're going to, purchase $40 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities every month. So they could adjust the way they purchase every month. They can adjust their quantitative easing and saying, hey, maybe we won't do $40 billion a month. Maybe we'll only do $20 billion a month in mortgage-backed securities purchases. That would ruin their credible threat, and everybody would go, oh my gosh, the Federal Reserve has changed position. They are starting to go into another idea of monetary, tightening or something like that. Any move in the opposite direction of where they are right now would be taken in a, what should I say, a very negative impact to what the Federal Reserve would ask for. So as people will look at the Federal Reserve and say they're cutting back on their purchases, man, we better cut back on our purchases too, since the Federal Reserve won't be there to buy all these, all these investments that we're going into. That, in turn, could cause the ripple to start going through the housing market. As less mortgage-backed securities are being purchased, that means the interest rates on them will start going up as the price on them starts to fall, just like any other bond out there. Once the interest rates start to go down, that makes it very difficult for people to make the payments on their houses. So you see where the Federal Reserve is now stuck in this position where they have to buy these things, but now they buy them at such a rate that it's causing the prices to go through the roof on the homes. They have to stop buying the mortgage-backed securities. If they do, it's going to ruin the perspective that the investors have on it. It's going to ruin that credible threat. I have no idea what the Federal Reserve is going to do, but man, are they painted into a corner on this one. If they don't do something, it'll become unaffordable. Prices just go right through the roof. If they do something about it, all the investors are probably going to take that as a very negative thing, and the interest rates are going to go through the roof. And people will not be able to afford payments at these prices. Anyway, something I was thinking about here on lunch. Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.